My name is Mike Veny, and check out this clip from my keynote that kicked off the 2024 Association for Healthcare Foodservice National Conference in San Antonio, Texas.
I grew up in Long Island, New York. That's me as a kid. Look at that hair for a moment. Take a moment for that hair. This would be a totally different presentation if I had that hair, but whatever. Totally different presentation. I had a wonderful childhood, and this is my mom. She was my biggest fan. She passed away in 2016. In the spirit of being emotionally well, that slide is not for you. It's for me, because I never know what's going to come up for me when I show it. And that's the important thing about showing up for your emotions. This is my dad. We took this picture 2 weeks ago. He says hello. And he supports me. But everything changed in my life when my younger brother Jason was born. That's Jason behind me right there. That's when the behavior problems started with me. I would act out, I would scream, yell, hit my little brother, and I was constantly getting in trouble. And I thought I was bad. I was told to stop being bad. And I was angry all the time, and I didn't know why. And throughout kindergarten, my mom had to come up and pick me up from school and take me home. And first grade, the same thing was happening, and by the end of first grade, my parents had had enough of me getting in trouble. They said enough is enough. So they decided to pull me out of public school and put me in this place called Catholic school. You know this ain't gonna go good, right? But needless to say, I have to tell you about it. So, second grade went okay, third grade went okay, but we all have this experience in school. You all had that one teacher in school that no one ever wanted to get as a teacher. They had a reputation for either being mean or an alien or something like that. Well, in fourth grade, I was told that I had Sister Pat that year, and she had the reputation in school. And I remember it like it was yesterday. If you could picture me in fourth grade, I was sitting in back of class, first day of school, like this, and I was smiling, and Sister Pat yelled at me and told me to wipe the smile off my face. And I said the thing you're not supposed to say to your teacher in fourth grade in Catholic school. I said, no. Everybody went, ooh. So Sister Pat then started yelling at me, and I said some things back to her that I'm not going to repeat right now. She then tried to grab me by my arm and pull me out of my desk, and I punched my teacher as hard as I could. She then took holy water and threw it on me and called me the devil. I took the holy water and threw it back and said, put this on your wrinkles. I was expelled that day from school. And my parents had a very serious talk with me about respect that night. They said, you cannot just do that. I said, nobody has a right to talk down to me. And I'm 45 years old. Nobody has a right to talk down to me, but I don't punch people anymore. But back to fourth grade, I'm expelled from school. Rest of fourth grade, best school year ever. I got to stay home every day. This tutor would come to the house. This woman was so scared of me, she didn't make eye contact with me. The summer between fourth and fifth grade was really interesting. My parents took me to see the movie Batman. Now, I take my superheroes very seriously, so I need to qualify this. The Batman I'm talking about is not that Ben Affleck, Christian Bale. It was Michael Keaton starring as Batman. Jack Nicholson was the Joker. If you've seen this movie, let me know. It's a great movie. And I love the movie so much. And I said to my parents, I want to be Batman or the Joker for Halloween. They said, if you behave, you can. I don't know if it was the movie or something else, but I came home and I got angry at a level that I never had before. We all get angry and we all snap. But I went into what we call a rage. I started destroying things in my parents' home and was so out of control for hours. And the next thing I know, I was put in a mental hospital. And it's a scary place to be when you're a kid. And it didn't help that this was right across the street from the county jail. In fifth grade, I was put in special education. I had the one teacher in school that I never messed with. Nope. I'm still scared of this woman. I saw her a few years ago. She's 5 feet tall. She still scares me. Keep my distance. But I found a way to annoy her. I would tap on my desk and play drum beats. Loved tapping on my desk to play drum beats. And eventually they let me go into the drum class. Now, I only got to go into the drum class once a week for 40 minutes. But for the remainder of time in fifth grade, I was starting to feel this intense sadness that I would later learn is called depression. I live with depression every single day. And sometimes I feel physical pain in my body from it. But when you're 10 years old, how do you articulate that to the world? If you have a child who's struggling and you ask them what's wrong and they say, I don't know, they're telling you the truth. It's very overwhelming. And oftentimes when we struggle with mental health, we simply want a solution. So I wanted a solution because I was done with the pain. So at age 10, on September 29th, 1989, I decided to fix the issue. Trigger warning. I came home from school went into the medicine cabinet, and found my entire bottle of mental health medication. And you can figure out the rest of the story from there. I ended up almost dying by suicide at age 10. My mom saved my life and rushed me to the hospital. I'm really grateful that she did. 7th grade, things are a lot worse. I'm spiraling down rabbit holes. I'm a lot bigger and I'm a lot stronger, and I want to be really transparent with you because I believe in this. We got to be real about this stuff. I was acting out at home angrily, but when you're in 7th grade and going into rages at home, that's not a rage anymore. It's called violence. And I'm ashamed to admit it, but it's the truth. I also started doing this thing called self-harm, which is an interesting word because anything can be self-harm, hanging out with the wrong group of people, too much time on social media. And there are 3 reasons why people self-harm. 1, we do it to take away the pain. 2nd, it can become an addiction. Each week that I get to speak about mental health in this country, I get to go all over the place. I see places in this country that most people never get to see. And I want to give you a travel tip, by the way. If you ever go to a new place in this country and you want to learn everything you need to know about that place within like less than 2 minutes, go to Walmart. Late at night. You see some stuff. But sometimes I go into Walmart, to the shaving section to get my razors, and sometimes I start lingering a little too long and I have to quickly get myself out there because self-harm became an addiction. And the 3rd reason people self-harm is they think it's cool. So self-harming, acting out violently at home, next thing I know I was in the mental hospital again, this time for 6 months. Eventually, though, they gave me weekend passes. They told me I can go home. And so I would go home. My parents wanted to do family activities. I didn't want to do any of that. So I'd lock myself in my bedroom and play drums to LL Cool J and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Between 7th and 10th grade, I am proud to say I was on a first-name basis with the local police and the local emergency room. I was constantly in crisis. It's all I knew. And this was just getting worse and worse. And by the time I had finished 10th grade, I had been expelled from 3 schools, hospitalized in a mental hospital 3 times, several suicide attempts, lots of self-harm, violent at home, and on about 5 different mental health medications. I was the poster child for an at-risk youth, and no school really wanted me. My brother was doing just fine. Everybody loved Jason. He got good grades. Everyone liked Jason. But the summer between 10th and 11th grade changed my life, and I want you to listen very carefully to what happened that summer.